I didn't make this channel to grow. I didn't make it to chase views. I didn't make it because some YouTube strategy guide told me I needed a second channel to maximize engagement and diversify my content profile. I made it because I missed something. Not a thing, a feeling. This channel exists because I miss sitting on the floor in front of the big TV that was way too heavy for the stand it was on. You know the one? That the sound it made, the one that made that weird electrical static noise even when nothing was happening. I miss the sound of a PlayStation turning on. I miss memory cards that could betray you. Hours of your life poured into a game gone because technology decided it didn't respect you. I miss the sounds of controllers hitting the carpet when you died in Resident Evil and pretended it was the controller's fault. I miss being 10 years old and having absolutely no idea what the future was going to do to me. This channel, the Bald Archive, exists because I wanted to make a place where we could go back there. Not literally, but close enough. A place that metaphorically you've come over to my house after school. My mum is making pizza bagels in the oven. There's the smell of melted cheese and cheap tomato sauce that somehow tasted better than anything you can buy now, even though objectively it was absolutely terrible and probably made of cornstarch. And we're sitting there deciding what we're going to do. Are we going to watch that episode of Pokémon I taped in the morning? Are we watching Hey Arnold? Are we going to play Tomb Raider or Crash Bandicoot? Are we playing GoldenEye and pretending we're not watching each other's screens, even though we are? Or is it Friday night and are we going to go to Blockbuster? And it feels like the most important decision we will ever make. Not because the film actually mattered, but because the moment did. That feeling that the weekend was just forever. Saturday and Sunday felt like adventures. Are we going to go on our bikes somewhere and go miles? That feeling, that life hadn't started hurting yet, that nothing had been lost yet. That's what this channel is. This isn't my main channel. My main channel, Bald Book Geek, is the serious one. I discuss books, literature, publishing, pull stories apart and try to understand why they work and why they matter. Why they stay with us. That channel comes from the head. This channel comes from somewhere else. This channel just remembers. This is the version of me sitting on the carpet instead of behind a desk. This is the version of me who didn't know what an algorithm was, didn't know what engagement rates were, didn't know what it meant to turn your life into something measurable. This channel isn't trying to optimize anything, it's just trying to hold on to something. Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's a little sad, because I think if most of us were honest, if we woke up tomorrow morning in our childhood bedrooms and the last few decades had just been a bad dream, part of us would feel relieved. Not because everything was perfect, but because everything was possible, because nothing had ended yet, because nothing had left yet, and nobody had left us yet. Because we were still versions of yourself, or ourselves, that believed things lasted forever. People, places, memories, whatever. And I know more people watch these videos than comment. I see the numbers. I see them quietly trickle up in the background silence, anonymous ghosts. I see the same single dislike that appears basically immediately, to the letter like clockwork every time. Somebody is watching, and for a while that bothered me. Because you start to wonder if you're talking to yourself. If you're putting pieces of yourself into something that will disappear into nothing. But the truth is, this channel was kind of always meant to be like talking into the void, because that's what memory is. Memory is talking to people who aren't there anymore. Versions of your friends, versions of your family, versions of yourself. People who existed in a moment and that ended without telling you it was ending. There was no announcement, no final episode, no credits. You just lived it, and then one day it was over. And you didn't realise it was the last time you played a game, the last time you watched a show, the last time you sat in your bedroom. The last time everything was still ahead of you. So I'm going to say this, don't expect deep dives here. Don't expect perfectly structured essays. Expect memories, voices. Think of half-forgotten shows that meant everything and now barely exist. Except, well, maybe except that this channel is memory. So accept that. PlayStation games with terrible camera controls. Weird license games that shouldn't have worked but somehow did. Expect voice actors whose voices live in your head forever. Films that nobody talks about anymore. Not because they weren't important, but because time moved on. But we remember. That's what this channel is. Not analysing anything, it's an archive. I didn't make this channel to grow. I made it so these memories wouldn't disappear completely. Because one day, nobody is going to remember the sound a PlayStation made when you turned it on back in the day. Nobody will remember the weight of a control that was slightly too big for your hands. Nobody will remember how big the world felt when it only existed inside a television screen in your room or on your bikes with your friends. Memory fades, things get replaced. People move on, people leave us. But this is where we put it. Not to live in the past, but to prove it existed. To prove we existed there. So this channel will always be a little quiet, a little strange, a little out of time, and that's okay. Because if you're here, if you found this, you remember too. Then it worked. The archive is open. That's why I did this. I'm Darv James, and I'll talk to you in the next one.